I'm Carson. I'm a 23 veteran of the United States Marine Corps. I still work for the government. I'm a senior analyst down at U.S. Marston, and I currently teach at Riviera University. I teach Homeland and National Security Studies.
Thank you for your service.
I am interested in how you would apply the instruments of national power towards problems like the Middle East, because we know we can't kill our way to victory. So how do we develop a narrative? How would you approach that?
Okay, I'm glad you asked that question, but before I answer it, I just want to thank all the veterans in here for what you've done. And I think we ought to be treating our veterans very differently than we do. I think they all should have a health statement account that's subsidized by the government. They should be able to go to any medical facility in the country, and we should be delighted to take care of them. And 22 to 23 veterans commit suicide every day, which means, and that's the tip of the iceberg. It means there's some real deep problems going on there. And instead of, sending people to help them after they get out of service, the day they enlist, we ought to have support services, and that should be with them throughout their time, particularly if they're in combat. And a year before they get out, we should have people who are already working on their placement. It should be a seamless transition. What we do is absolutely shameful, and it's just ridiculous. And, we need to have a system whereby when somebody knows that they go into the military, that yes, they're putting their lives in the line, and yes, they're making sure that we're all able to live in liberty, but they ought to also know that when they come out, we got their backs. Unless we can do that, I think we're hurting ourselves, we're shooting ourselves in the foot. Now, having said that, in terms of dealing with ISIS and the radical jihadists, we must recognize that their goal is to kill us. They want to destroy us in our way of life. We have two choices. We can allow them to do that, or we can destroy them first. I take the second option myself. Now, there are a number of ways that we got a lot of capability, both defensive, offensive, covert, overt. I think we ought to use everything. There's nothing that we shouldn't use. We need to be thinking about cyber security, big time. And we need to have government and private sector working together, because this is a big issue that affects us all. The electric grid needs to be hardened and have several layers of alternative defense, because that could ruin us virtually overnight. And their oil and their oil refineries, we should take them. There's just no question about it. We should take their oil. We should deprive them of any finances. We should use every type of banking entity in terms of sanctions, embargoes. We use everything that we have available to us, not to contain them, but to wipe them out off the face of the earth, never seen from again in the history of the world. I know that sounds a little hawkish, but I'm not a hawk, actually. I'm a dove. But I'm what's known as a pragmatic dove. Pragmatic doves do not sit around and allow themselves to be destroyed. That's different. But, in terms of war in general, unless it's necessary, I wouldn't be into it. I was not in favor of the 2003 invasion. I had many discussions with President Bush about that. I said, this is a wonderful opportunity for you to become the greatest president we've ever had. There's a lot of unity right now, and you can use your bully pulpit in the same way that Kennedy did when the Russians got ahead of us in the space race. And you can say, within 10 years, we're going to become petroleum independent. And I'll tell you that the modern Arab states would be so terrified that they were going to lose their economic base, that they would hand over Osama bin Laden and whoever else you want on a silver platter within 2 weeks. I said, not only that, but Greenpeace would hate you, would be building monuments to you. The way that the economy would explode with all the activity to come up with a new energy source, and would be things that would not be exportable. It would really help the economy. And I said, but most importantly, the terrorists won't have any money. That's how you get rid of them. Dry up their money. And I think he eventually came around to my way of thinking, but it was too late. But I think that's why he gave me the presidential medal. Okay, I've gotten the word that we need to move on to the next segment, but thank you all. Thank you all for coming on this wonderful occasion. We actually had our anniversary yesterday at home, and Candy made all my favorite foods, and we had a candlelight. It was just wonderful.
Crowne TV.